The silence on Earth was heavier than the gravity on Jupiter. It was a silence that screamed. King Cold stood in the middle of the ruined capital city. The fires were still burning around him, painting the night sky with angry orange and red colors. Smoke rose up like ghosts dancing in the wind. But King Cold did not look at the fire. He looked down at his feet. At his feet lay the 7 dragon balls. A moment ago, they were glowing with a warm, magical orange light. They were pulsing with life. They were ready to grant his wish. He was going to be young again. He was going to be immortal. He was going to be the eternal ruler of the universe. But now they were dead. They were just round, heavy stones. They were grey. They looked like dirty rocks found in a river. There was no magic in them. There was no dragon. There was nothing. King Cold stared at them. His red eyes were wide. His mouth was slightly open. He held his glass of wine in his hand, but his hand was shaking. The wine rippled in the glass. The silence stretched on for 10 seconds, then 20 seconds. The soldiers around him held their breath. Captain Ginyu, who was standing in his pose, slowly lowered his arms. He looked nervous. Sweat rolled down his purple forehead. Even the Ginyu force knew that when the king was quiet, people were about to die. King Cold dropped his wine glass. It hit the concrete and shattered. The red wine spilled like blood on the grey ground. That was the sound that broke the silence. King Cold looked up. He looked at the sky. He looked at the place where Kami, the old green god, had died just moments ago. "You," King Cold whispered. His voice was low and dangerous. It sounded like a growl from a deep cave. "You dead old fool. You did this. You died just to spite me." King Cold kicked the pile of stone balls. They flew into the air. One of them hit a ruined building and cracked a wall. "It is useless," King Cold roared. He screamed so loud that the windows in the remaining buildings shattered. Birds fell out of the sky. The ground shook. Useless. Trash. Garbage. He turned to his soldiers. The crocodile soldier, who had been holding the radar, was trembling. He tried to hide behind a piece of rubble. King Cold pointed a finger at him. "You," King Cold said. "You told me they would work. You told me I would be young." The soldier shook his head rapidly. "No, Lord Cold, I didn't know. It was the Namekian. He died. Please, have mercy." "Mercy?" King Cold asked. He smiled. It was a terrible smile. It was a smile full of sharp teeth and zero warmth. "I'm a cold demon. We do not know what that word means." King Cold fired a tiny beam of energy from his finger. It was thin and purple. It went right through the soldier's head. The soldier fell down. He was dead before he hit the ground. King Cold did not even look at the body. He looked at Captain Ginyu. "Captain," King Cold said. His voice was calm again, which was even scarier. "Yes, Lord Cold." Ginyu stood at attention. He saluted. "This planet has annoyed me," King Cold said. "It has wasted my time. It has denied me my wish. I do not like being denied. I want you to wipe it clean." "Wipe it clean?" Ginyu asked. "You mean destroy the cities?" "No," King Cold said. "I mean everything. Every human, every animal, every tree, every blade of grass. I want this planet to be a ball of dust floating in space. But do not do it quickly. No, that is too easy. Make them suffer. Make them scream. I want to hear their fear before they turn to ash. Take your time, Captain. Have fun." Ginyu grinned. His eyes lit up. He loved destroying things. It was his favorite hobby, right after dancing. "Understood, Lord. The Ginyu force will handle it." Ginyu turned to his team. "All right, boys. You heard the boss. It is playtime. Rikum, Berta, Jees, Guldo, split up. Pick a continent. Burn it down." Rikum laughed. "I claim the north. I saw some mountains there I want to punch." Berta sped around in a circle. I take the west. I will be done before you guys even start. Jees flipped his hair. I will take the south. I want to see if the oceans burn. Guldo jumped up and down. I will take the east. I will freeze time and squash them like bugs. Go, Ginyu shouted. The 5 members of the Ginyu force flew into the air. They split up in 5 different directions. They looked like 5 comets of death. King Cold sat back down in his floating chair. He poured himself another glass of wine from a bottle a servant brought him. He crossed his legs. He watched the city burning. This will be a good show, he muttered. A very good show. Meanwhile, in the demon realm, the air was cold and stale. Kakarot stood still on the red grass of the blood plains. He was clutching his head. The voice in his mind had faded, but the feeling remained. It was a feeling of desperate sadness. Save this world. The words echoed in his brain. Kakarot let go of his head. He looked at his hands. They were trembling slightly, not from fear, but from anger. He did not know who sent the message. He did not know Kami, but he felt the connection. He felt the Dragon Balls dying. He didn't know what Dragon Balls were, but he felt a massive source of magic vanish from the universe. It felt like a light going out in a dark room. Kakarot looked at his army. The 500 demons were watching him. They were bruised and tired. They had just broken free from Tower's mind control. They were confused. They looked at their general, waiting for an order. Grizz, the old demon, stepped forward. He still had a lump on his head where Kakarot had chopped him. General, Grizz asked softly, what is wrong? You look haunted. Kakarot took a deep breath. He exhaled slowly. Steam came out of his mouth. We have to move, Kakarot said. His voice was hard. We have to move now. To the castle? Grizz asked. To the capital, Kakarot said. We are going to kill Dabura. Today. Grizz's eyes went wide. Today. General, look at us. We are exhausted. We have no weapons. We are wounded. If we march on the capital now, we will be slaughtered. We need to rest. We need to regroup. There is no time, Kakarot shouted. He turned to face the army. His eyes were flashing yellow. His tail lashed behind him. Something is happening. Something bad. Not here. Out there. He pointed up at the dark swirling sky. In the universe, someone is destroying a world. A world that might be my home, the demons murmured. They whispered to each other. They knew Kakarot was not a demon. They knew he fell from the sky. I have to get back there, Kakarot said. I have to save them. And the only way out of this hell dimension is the Master Gate. And the Master Gate is in Dabura's throne room. So we are going to the capital. We are going to kick down the doors. We are going to kill the king. And I'm going to go home. Who is with me? Silence fell over the plains. The demons looked at each other. They were scared. Dabura was a god to them. He had ruled for thousands of years. But then, they looked at Kakarot. They saw the fire in him. They saw the boy who had freed them from the mines. The boy who broke the chains. The boy who refused to kill them when they attacked him. Grizz raised his rusty sword. I am old, Grizz said. I have lived a life of slavery. I would rather die fighting for a chance at freedom than die digging in the dirt. I am with you, General. Another demon raised his axe. I am with you. A third demon roared. Hail, Kakarot! Soon, all 500 demons were cheering. They forgot their pain. They forgot their fatigue. They were caught in the Saiyan's gravity. They were ready to march into death. Good, Kakarot said. He turned north. Then run. Try to keep up. Kakarot took off running. He did not fly. Flying wasted energy. He ran with the speed of a panther. The army ran behind him. A cloud of red dust rose up as they charged across the plains. The journey to the demon capital was not a walk in the park. It was a nightmare, The geography of the demon realm was designed to kill. After the blood plains, they hit the whispering woods. The trees here were not made of crystal like the other forest. They were made of flesh. The bark was soft and warm. The leaves looked like tongues. And they whispered. They whispered your darkest fears. As the army ran through the woods, the trees spoke to them. You are weak, the trees whispered to Grizz. You will fail. You are nothing. Your mother never loved you, the trees whispered to a young demon. You are just food. The demons covered their ears. Some of them fell to their knees crying. The psychological attack was heavy. Kakarot felt it too. The trees whispered to him. You are a monster, they said. You are not a Saiyan. You are not a human. You are a killer. You belong here in the dark. You will never be a hero. Kakarot grit his teeth. He ran faster. Shut up, he yelled at the trees. He punched a tree trunk. The tree screamed and bled purple sap. Ignore them, Kakarot shouted to his men. It's just noise. Focus on your feet. Focus on the mission. Don't listen to the lies. Kakarot's voice cut through the whispers. He was like a beacon of will. The demons focused on his back. They focused on his spiky black hair. They used his strength to block out the voices. They pushed through the forest. When they came out the other side, they were sweating and shaking, but they were still moving. Next was the bone bridge. It was a bridge made from the skeleton of a giant leviathan that had died millions of years ago. The ribs of the beast formed the archway. The bridge crossed a river of magma. The magma bubbled and popped. The heat was intense. It singed the hair on their bodies. As they crossed, lava serpents jumped out of the river. These snakes were made of fire and rock. They were 50 feet long. They snapped at the soldiers on the bridge. Watch out, Kakarot yelled. A serpent lunged at a soldier. Kakarot jumped. He moved so fast he was a blur. He kicked the serpent in the jaw. The rock shattered. The serpent fell back into the lava with a splash. Keep moving. Don't look down, Kakarot commanded. He stood on the railing of the bridge. He acted as a guard. Every time a serpent jumped, Kakarot was there. He punched them. He kicked them. He fired small blasts of ki to knock them back. He was a whirlwind of violence. He protected his pack. They crossed the bridge. They were burnt and blistered, but they were alive. Finally, they saw it. The demon capital, Pandemonium. It sat on top of a jagged black mountain. The city was massive. It made the prison camp look like a sandbox. The buildings were tall spirals of black stone that twisted into the sky. Green fire burned in torches along the walls. The walls were massive, hundreds of feet high. And in the center of the city, rising above everything else, was the castle of the Demon King. It looked like a giant claw reaching for the red moon. Kakarot stopped. He breathed heavy. He wiped sweat and soot from his face. There it is, he said. Grizz stood next to him. By the dark gods, Grizz whispered. It is terrifying. It is just a pile of rocks, Kakarot said, and we are going to knock it over. Back on Earth, the nightmare was real. Yamcha woke up. He was in pain. Every inch of his body hurt. He opened his eyes. He saw the blue sky, but the sky was filled with black smoke. He tried to sit up. He groaned. His ribs were broken. His leg was twisted. Yamcha, a voice cried. It was Bulma. She was sitting next to him. Her face was dirty. Her dress was torn. She had been crying, but now she looked numb. Bulma, Yamcha rasped. Are we alive? Barely, Bulma said. That monster, Raccoon. He took the ball. He left us. Yamcha looked around. The desert was quiet. The jeep was a wreck. We have to warn someone, Yamcha said. There is no one left to warn Yamcha, Bulma said. Her voice broke. I checked the news on my phone before the signal died. The North City is gone. The East City is burning. The military is destroyed. They are everywhere. Who? Yamcha asked. The aliens, Bulma said. The Ginyu Force. They are playing a game, Yamcha. They are betting on who can destroy a city faster. Yamcha closed his eyes. Tears squeezed out. This can't be happening. Where is Goku? Where is the hero we need? Even though Yamcha didn't know Goku in this timeline, he felt the absence of a hero. The world felt empty. Just then, a shadow fell over them. Yamcha and Bulma looked up. Floating in the sky above them was a short, fat alien with 4 eyes. It was Guldo. Guldo was holding a bag of apples he had stolen from a farm. He was eating one. Oh, look, Guldo said. He chewed loudly. Survivors. I thought Rikkum cleaned up this area. Bulma screamed. She grabbed a rock and threw it at him. Go away. Guldo stopped the rock in mid-air with his mind. He laughed. Feisty, I like that. But I don't have time for games. I am winning the bet. I have destroyed 6 towns in 10 minutes. Guldo pointed a finger at them. Goodbye, humans. A sharp piece of wood from a tree rose up. Guldo was going to impale them. Yamcha tried to stand up. He couldn't. He crawled in front of Bulma. He tried to shield her with his broken body. Don't touch her, Yamcha yelled. Guldo smirked. How cute. 2 for 1. The sharp wood flew towards them. Yamcha closed his eyes. He waited for the end. But the wood didn't hit. There was a flash of light. Zing. The wood was sliced in half. It fell to the ground. Guldo blinked. What? Standing in front of Yamcha and Bulma was a short, bald man with a sword. He wore a gi. It was Krillin. But this was not the Krillin who trained with Goku. This was a Krillin who had trained with the monks his whole life. He was serious. He was scarred. He was not as strong as the Z-fighter Krillin, but he was brave. Krillin held his sword. He looked at Guldo. Pick on someone your own size. 4 eyes, Krillin said. Guldo laughed. A bald dwarf? You think you can stop the Ginyu Force? Krillin didn't talk. He charged. He knew he was outmatched. He could feel the alien's power. It was like an ocean. But he couldn't let innocent people die. He swung his sword. Guldo paused time. Hold your breath. The world stopped. Guldo floated behind Krillin. He released time. Breathe. Krillin swung at empty air. Guldo kicked Krillin in the back of the head. Krillin flew forward and face-planted in the sand. Too slow, Guldo taunted. Krillin got up. He spat out sand. He didn't give up. Run, Krillin yelled to Yamcha and Bulma. Get out of here. I will buy you time. But Yamcha couldn't run, and Bulma wouldn't leave him. They were trapped in a tragedy. Back in the demon realm, Kakarot stood before the main gate of Pandemonium. The gate was made of black steel. It was 50 feet high. It was guarded by 2 giants. But Kakarot didn't care about the guards. He cared about what was behind the gate. He could feel a massive ki inside the city. It wasn't Dabura. It was someone else. Someone hungry. Open the gate, Kakarot shouted. His voice was amplified by his kai. It shook the walls. The giant guards looked down. Who are you, Ant? I am Kakarot, the scion of the demon realm, and I am here to take the throne. The guards laughed. It was a deep, rumbling laugh. Go away, boy, or we will step on you. Kakarot didn't wait. He jumped. He flew right at the face of the left guard. He punched him in the nose. Crack! The giant guard fell backward. He crashed into the gate. The gate shook, but didn't open. The other guard swung a massive club. Kakarot dodged. He landed on the guard's arm. He ran up the arm. He kicked the guard in the eye. The guard howled and dropped the club. Kakarot jumped off. He landed in front of the gate. Kakarot! A voice boomed from the other side of the gate. The gate slowly creaked open. Standing in the opening was a nightmare. It was a monster. He was huge, easily 20 feet tall. He had green skin. He had a large M on his forehead, which stood for Majin, the mark of the demon clan. He had long claws. He had a long tail with a stinger. But the most terrifying thing was his face. He had sharp teeth and eyes that looked like they could see in the dark. This was Yakon, the Eater of Light. In the original timeline, Goku fought him on Babidi's ship. Here, Yakon was the gatekeeper of the capital. He was one of Dabura's elite generals. "So," Yakon hissed, "you are the little monkey causing all the trouble. I can smell you. You smell like light." Kakarot looked up at Yakon. He wasn't scared. He was focused. "Move aside, ugly. I have a meeting with your boss." Yakon laughed. It sounded like scraping metal. "No one sees Lord Dabura without paying the toll, and the toll is your life." Yakon lunged. He was incredibly fast for his size. He swiped his claws at Kakarot. Kakarot backflipped. The claws cut the air. The wind pressure from the swipe cut a trench in the ground. He is fast, Kakarot thought. Faster than Vorg. Faster than Shula. Kakarot fired a ki blast. A yellow ball of energy flew at Yakon's face. Yakon didn't dodge. He opened his mouth wide. He inhaled. Slurp. He ate the energy blast. He swallowed it. Yakon said. He licked his lips. Delicious. A little spicy, but tasty. Kakarot paused. He eats energy? Yakon smiled. Yes, I am a magical beast. I feed on light. I feed on Kai. Your blasts are useless against me, Saiyan. The more you fire, the fuller I get. Yakon burped. A small puff of yellow smoke came out. Kakarot clenched his fists. Fine, no blasts, just fists. Kakarot charged. He used his speed. He vanished. He appeared behind Yakon. He kicked Yakon's leg. It felt like kicking a rubber tire. Yakon's skin was thick and rubbery. It absorbed the impact. Yakon spun around. He used his tail. The tail whipped Kakarot in the ribs. Kakarot flew sideways. He crashed into the city wall. He fell to the ground. He coughed. That hurt. Yakon walked towards him. Is that all? I heard you were a demon slayer. You are just a snack. Kakarot stood up. He wiped blood from his mouth. He smiled. I'm just getting started. Kakarot flared his aura, but he kept it close to his skin. He didn't let it expand. He didn't want to give Yakon a free meal. He compressed his power. This was something he learned from hunting in the gravity zones. Compressed power meant harder hits. Kakarot rushed in again. This time, he didn't aim for the legs. He aimed for the joints. He punched Yakon's elbow. He kicked Yakon's knee. He was a blur of motion. Yakon roared. He tried to catch Kakarot, but the boy was too small and too fast. Kakarot was like a hornet attacking a bear. Bam, bam, bam. Kakarot landed 3 punches on Yakon's stomach. Yakon stumbled back. You annoying pest, Yakon yelled. Yakon's claws started to glow. 2 massive blades of red energy extended from his fingers. Cross slash. Yakon swung both hands. An X-shaped wave of energy flew at Kakarot. Kakarot couldn't block it. It was too wide. He couldn't jump over it. It was too high. He had to go through it. Void step. Kakarot focused. He saw the seam in reality. He stepped forward into the nothingness. For a split second, he didn't exist. The energy slash passed right through the spot where he was. Kakarot reappeared instantly. He was right in front of Yakon's face. Yakon's eyes widened. Where did you? Kakarot didn't let him finish. He put all his strength into his right fist. He didn't use Kai. He used pure Saiyan muscle. He channeled the gravity of the demon realm into his bones. Take this. Kakarot punched Yakon right in the snout. Crunch. Yakon's nose broke. Green blood sprayed out. The giant monster fell backward. He crashed onto his back. The ground shook. Dust rose up. Kakarot landed on Yakon's chest. He held his fist up, ready to strike again. "Stay down," Kakarot growled. Yarkin groaned. His eyes were spinning. He was knocked silly. Kakarot looked up. The gate was open. The army of demons cheered. "General Kakarot! General Kakarot!" they chanted. They rushed past the fallen giant. They swarmed into the city. Kakarot stood up. He looked at the castle. It was closer now. He could feel the darkness radiating from it. "Come on," Kakarot said. "We are almost there." Inside the castle, in the throne room. The room was dark, lit only by candles made of blue fat. The floor was polished obsidian. At the end of the room, on a throne made of bones and gold, sat the Demon King, Dabura. He was handsome in a devilish way. He had red skin, a goatee, and horns. He wore a blue outfit with a white cape. He looked bored. Standing next to him was a small, wrinkled wizard, Babidi. But in this timeline, Babidi was not the master. Dabura was the king. Babidi was just an advisor. "Master," Babidi squeaked. "The boy has defeated Yakon. He is entering the city." Dabura smiled. He stood up. He was tall, elegant. "Interesting," Dabura said. His voice was smooth like velvet. "A Saiyan who can defeat my generals without using ki blasts. He is adapting. He is evolving. Should I send the rest of the guard?" Babidi asked. "No," Dabura said. He walked down the steps of his throne. "Let him come. I want to see this Saiyan of the demon realm. I want to see if he is worthy to be my pet or my killer." Dabura walked to the balcony. He looked out over his city. He saw the smoke rising from the gate. He saw the small army of rebel demons marching through the streets. He felt Kakarot's energy. It was wild. It was hot. It was different from demon energy. It felt like life. "It has been a long time since I had a good fight," Dabura whispered. "Don't disappoint me, Kakarot." Back on Earth, King Cold finished his wine. He checked his watch. It was a golden watch, studded with diamonds. "Enough time has passed," King Cold said. He tapped his scouter. "Captain Ginyu." "Yes, Lord Cold." Ginyu's voice came through. There were explosions in the background. "Are you having fun?" "Oh yes, Lord. This planet pops very nicely." "Good, but I am bored now." "Wrap it up." "Wrap it up, Lord?" "Yes, destroy the core, blow up the planet. I want to go home and take a hot bath." Ginyu paused. "But Lord, Riku and Guldo are still playing." "I don't care," King Cold said coldly. "Tell them to hurry back to the ship. You have 5 minutes." 5 minutes, Ginyu said. "Understood." Beginning the countdown. King Cold turned off the scouter. He looked at the ruined city one last time. "Goodbye, dirt ball. You were a waste of space." In the desert, Yamcha and Bulma heard the announcement. The Ginyu force had loudspeakers on their pods. "Attention Earthlings," Ginyu's voice boomed over the planet. "This is Captain Ginyu. You have 5 minutes to say your prayers. We are blowing up the planet. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a nice death." Bulma dropped her head. 5 minutes, she sobbed. "It's over." Krillin, who was lying face down in the sand, lifted his head. He was bleeding. One eye was swollen shut. "No," he whispered, "it's not over. Until the end." But even Krillin knew. There was nothing they could do. They needed a miracle. They needed a savior. They needed a Saiyan. In the demon realm, Kakarot stopped running. He felt it again. The ripple, the timeline shifting. He looked at the sky. He felt the countdown. He didn't know it was 5 minutes, but he knew time was running out. He looked at the castle. It was still a mile away. "I'm not going to make it," Kakarot thought. "If I run, I won't make it in time to use the portal. I need to fly. But flying drains energy. If I fly to the castle, I will be weak when I face Dabura." He looked at Grizz. He looked at his army. They were looking at him with hope. Kakarot made a choice. He closed his eyes. He reached deep inside himself. He found the Uzaru power, the beast. He didn't transform. He just pulled on the power. He flooded his body with it. His muscles grew. His veins popped. He opened his eyes. They were glowing bright red. "I am going to fly," Kakarot said. Grizz nodded. "Go, General. We will catch up." Kakarot crouched. The ground cracked under his feet. He exploded into the air. Boom! He broke the sound barrier instantly. He flew like a red comet. He tore through the air. He smashed through a tower that was in his way. He didn't go around. He went through. He was a bullet. He reached the castle in seconds. He didn't knock. He didn't stop at the door. He flew right through the main window of the throne room. Crash! Glass shattered. Kakarot rolled and landed on the obsidian floor. He slid to a stop. He stood up. He was panting. He was covered in glass dust and demon blood. He looked up. Standing in front of him was Dabura. Dabura clapped his hands. "Bravo," Dabura said. "That was a dramatic entrance. I give it a 10 out of 10. Kakarot ignored the compliment. He pointed at the portal behind the throne. It was a swirling vortex of black and red energy. "The Master Gate. Is that active?" Kakarot asked. Dabura looked to the gate. "Yes, it is always active. It connects to anywhere I want." "Move," Kakarot said. "I need to use it." Dabura laughed. "You are in a rush. Do you have a hot date?" "I have a planet to save," Kakarot growled. "Move, or I will move you." Dabura sighed. He drew a sword from thin air. It was a black sword with jagged edges. "I'm afraid I can't do that, little Saiyan. You see, no one leaves the demon realm without my permission, and I haven't decided if I like you yet. So," Dabura pointed the sword at Kakarot. "Let's dance." The fate of Earth hung in the balance. 5 minutes remaining. Kakarot versus Dabura. The king versus the exile. The battle for 2 worlds was about to begin. Next time on Saiyan of the Demon Realm. The final battle of the season. Kakarot versus Demon King Dabura. Kakarot must unlock a transformation never seen before to defeat the King of Demons. Meanwhile, on Earth, Ginyu prepares his final attack. Can Kakarot defeat Dabura and jump through the portal in time to stop the destruction of Earth? Or will he arrive to find only asteroids floating in space? The climax is here.